Hey guys, welcome to Guilds today. Thanks for being here. So today we're going to be talking about extreme weather. So a lot of the times when people think about the dangers in the wilderness, they think of being around dangerous animals like mountain lions or bears or rattlesnakes. But really, a lot of the times, what you need to be more concerned about is extreme weather. So, we're going to talk about a few different types of extreme weather today and how you can help you prevent yourself from experiencing sicknesses from the weather. So, the first one that we're going to talk about is hypothermia. So, what is hypothermia? Hypothermia means that your body temperature has dropped a few degrees below normal, and normal is considered 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And hypothermia can actually happen in a really short amount of time. It can happen really quickly. So, like this person in the picture who is in ice water, they would need to get their wet clothes off immediately and get some dry clothes on and warm up, or they become hypothermic. Your body can lose heat really fast, and we'll talk about different ways that that can happen throughout our lesson. So, the first sign of hypothermia is shivering and goosebumps. That's your body's way of letting you know that you're very cold. So, you might experience some muscle cramping. Your skin might turn red as though like you have a sunburn. You may also find that you can't quickly touch your thumb to your little finger. You may experience the umbles. So the umbles are stumbles, mumbles, bumbles, bumbles, and tumbles. So in other words, you may become clumsy. You might have trouble speaking or walking. You might trip or fall or become confused and unable to take care of simple things. You may also feel sleepy. You might have no energy or start to think that you don't care what happens and you just want to be left alone. If you find yourself experiencing these symptoms, you need to take action immediately because that's the first sign of hypothermia and you don't want it to progress to get to be more severe hypothermia. So if your hypothermia grows more severe, you might experience symptoms like pale skin, your fingers, toes, ears, or lips, they might turn blue, and then you might become foggy or confused. So it can be super dangerous if these things happen and it's not treated. That's a sign that hypothermia has gotten worse. So if you are experiencing hypothermia, you want to make sure that you are not alone because that any of these umbles can really be harmful. So you want to make sure that you are around people and that they can help treat you. So how can you keep yourself warm and safe and not get hypothermic? So the first thing is you can wear multiple layers. If you wear 2 or 3 layers of loose clothing, air is able to flow between layers. The air helps insulate your body and keeps you much warmer than one thick layer of clothing. Second thing that you can do is avoid cotton clothing. So there is a saying in the world of survival that says cotton kills. When cotton gets wet in cold weather, it takes a long time to dry and it pulls a lot of heat out of your body. If you're wearing cotton in the rain or the snow, you risk becoming chilled in a very short amount of time. So you want to definitely avoid cotton. Third thing is you want to keep your head, neck, and hands covered. This is such a simple but very important piece of advice. You lose most of your body heat through your head and your neck, so it's super important to wear a hat, like a beanie. So a knit or fleece hat weighs next to nothing and can really save your life. So you should make sure that you always carry a beanie with you when you are going hiking or when you're camping. You should also be sure to keep your ears covered. Your mom is right. You need to put on your gloves. My mom always said that to me. Always carry a pair of gloves or mittens in your pack so you can protect your hands from the cold. If you don't have mittens, you can always bring a pair of socks and put those, and those can act as mittens as well. The fourth thing you can do is keep your clothes dry. Damp clothing cools off your body. If you find yourself in wet weather and you have no waterproof clothing to wear as a top layer, you can cover yourself with a trash bag. I typically always have a trash bag in my backpack. It's such a easy and lightweight thing to carry and can be useful in so many situations when you're in the wilderness. And one of those things is to keep you dry. So these are some other tips and tricks of how to avoid hypothermia. So don't wear clothing that causes you to sweat or become overheated. Just because what we talked about, clothes absorb sweat and become damp, and you don't want to be damp and cold. You want to protect yourself from the wind. Wind chill is a term that describes how cold the temperature outside feels to people and animals. When the cooling effects of wind are taken into account. So wind pulls heat from your body, and that's why you feel colder on days when it is both cold and windy than on days that it's just cold but not windy. Just by finding shelter and getting out of the wind will make you warmer. You should also make sure that you are eating foods that have a lot of calories in it. So calories give you energy, and energy keeps you warm. So bring foods that have high calories like chocolate, peanuts, any kind of nuts whenever you go explore in the wilderness. You also want to make sure that you get active. So run in place. If you're cold, start running in place. Do some jumping jacks or exercise in some other way to keep your blood circulating in your body and keep you warm. You want to insulate yourself. So if you're cold, stuff your clothing with pine needles, dry leaves, or anything else that will help insulate your body from cold temperature. You can also use heat packs. Heat packs are a great way to stay warm. You want to drink a lot of fluids. When you're dehydrated, your blood does not flow as well as it should, and you become colder faster. One of my favorite tricks in the wilderness of staying warm is to drink lots of water. I notice a huge difference on days when I don't drink a lot of water versus days that I do. On the days that I don't drink a lot of water, I'm really cold at night. On days that I'm warmer, those are the days that I drank a lot of water, and I sleep so much better because I'm warm and my blood is circulating my body's heat so much better, and I'm not cold. So drink lots of water. That is my favorite trick. Lots of water. And of course, you can light a fire. Obviously a campfire is going to help keep you warm. You can also take advantage of your buddy's body warmth. If you have a dog or a friend, it helps to cozy up next to the dog or the friend and use each other's body heat to keep warm. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is frostbite. Frostbite is really painful, so I want you to know what it is so that you can help avoid it. So frostbite occurs when the skin or other tissues in a particular part of the body actually freeze. Frostbite can be mild or it can be severe, depending on how frozen the area becomes. You're most likely to get frostbite on your hands and feet and ears and nose and face. Those are the most common places to get frostbite. So be on the lookout for some of these telltale signs of frostbite. So some of those are right here. You can read them. They are white or gray skin, pins and needles or feelings of numbness. The area throbs with pain. You can't feel anything in that area. And those are all signs. So if you start to notice that, the first thing you should do is move. Because remember in the last slide, we learned that movement can help circulate our blood and get it and make us warmer. So move if you want to run in place or do jumping jacks. anything, just move that body part and just move your whole body. Um, One of the biggest survival myths says that if a person has frostbite, you should rub his or her frozen body parts with snow. Never ever do that, and never let anyone do that to you. That is not true. You need to get the part where you're experiencing any of these things, any of these signs, in a warm spot. Um, what I like to do when I am experiencing my warm, like really cold hands, I like to put it under my armpits or underneath my legs and sit on them. Just anything that will warm them up. You can also, like, if you start to feel frostbite, like, if you start to feel any of these signs in your face, like scrunch your nose up. So just like we're talking about moving your body, if it's in your face, you can move your face, um, and that will help keep your face warm. Okay, so the next one is heat exhaustion. So heat exhaustion has a lot of different signs. We talked about dehydration in a guild previous to this one. So heat exhaustion can be mildly uncomfortable, but it can quickly turn into something even more worse called a heat stroke. So these are the signs of heat exhaustion, which is the first sign that you are dehydrated. So you want to take care of it before anyone experiences a heat stroke. So the symptoms of heat exhaustion are tiredness or weakness, dizzy or sick to your stomach, fainting, heavy sweating, fever, headaches, muscle cramps, dark urine, cool and damp skin. So if you have any of these things, you should definitely drink water. And even before you experience any of these things, you should always be drinking water when you're hiking or camping anytime you're in the wilderness. Even when you're not, even when you're not in the wilderness, but you're outside playing games, you want to make sure that you are drinking water, because heat exhaustion can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be just when you are out in the woods. It can be when you're at school. So that's why it's so important to drink water and stay hydrated. Sit in the shade when you need it. So if you experience any of these signs, you need to cool your body immediately. So like I said, get in the shade and drink cool water. You can also put a damp or wet rag on your head, and that will help cool you down too. When it's hot out, it's better to wear lightweight, loose fitting long pants and lightweight, long sleeve shirt in the heat than shorts and a tank top. You do not want the sun to shine directly on your skin and cause it to heat up or become burned. In very hot climates, cotton clothing is better than clothing made from a synthetic such as polyester, because it allows for better air circulation. Remember when I said earlier on a previous slide, cotton kills in cold weather, but it helps to cool you down in hot weather. So remember, in cold weather, you don't want to wear cotton. In hot weather, it helps you. It helps cool you down. So you also want to make sure that when you are in the sun, you wear a hat. Just like we were saying, heat escapes your body through your head. Your body loses heat through your head. One of the most important things that you can do is wear a hat. The baseball cap holds the heat inside, next to your head. So yeah, so sit in the shade, drink water, you can wet a cloth or a bandana and put it on your head. If you don't have a cloth or a bandana, you can just use a shirt or anything that you have, any type of material, you can wet it and put it on your head to cool you down. And then wear a hat. Please wear a hat. That helps keep you cool. Sun or snow blindness. So when UV or violet rays from the sun are reflected into your eyes for hours, it can actually sunburn your eyes, or your cornea. So your cornea is the transparent layer of tissue that covers the iris and the pupil of each eye. So basically that just means that you are sunburning your eye. People with green or blue eyes are especially at risk, as is anyone who's surrounded by highly reflective surfaces like snow or desert sand. As you can imagine, sunburning your eyes really hurts and often feels like you have dust in your eyes. After a while, you feel real pain and aren't able to open your eyes. If you are experiencing sun or snow blindness, it can damage your eyes and it can make you temporarily go blind. In the wilderness, there's not much you can do to speed up the recovery except just rest your eyes. So to help prevent eye damage in the first place, you should wear sunglasses and shade your eyes with a hat or some type of cloth over your eyes like a blindfold. So best thing to do if you start experiencing scratchy eyes and having trouble opening your eyes is rest your eyes. Get in some shade, put a cloth over your eyes, and just rest. So one cool thing, we were learning about extreme temperatures. One cool thing of how you can tell what temperature it is when you're in the wilderness is if you hear crickets, that typically is a sign. It can tell you how hot or cold it is. So how you can measure the temperature from a cricket is you count the number of chirps a single cricket makes in 15 seconds. So if you have a watch, you can time 15 seconds, or you can count 15 seconds and count how many times the cricket chirps. So if the cricket chirps 15 times in 15 seconds, you then add 40 to this sum, and that's the approximate temperature. So if it chirps 15 times in 15 seconds, you would do 15 plus 40. So the approximate temperature would be 55. So if a cricket chirped 30 times in 15 seconds, then that would be about 70 degrees. I think that's a really cool trick. So now for the remainder of the time, since you guys still have some time left, I encourage you guys to practice the different extreme temperatures that we just talked about and the different illnesses that you can get. So remember, those were hypothermia, that was frostbite, and that was also heat illness like heat exhaustion, and sun blindness or snow blindness. So you can practice these different things that we talked about by playing charades. So you can get together with your family and you can act out these different illnesses. So for example, I might play with my family and I might go like this. So remember, charades, you don't talk. So try to guess what I'm doing. What do you think that would be? Which one? So that might be hypothermia, right? Because I'm indicating that I'm cold and shivering and that I'm tired, and we learned that those were signs and symptoms of hypothermia. So try that out, act those out, see if your family can guess what kind of illness you're acting out from the extreme weather. So again, that was hypothermia, frostbite, heat exhaustion, and sun blindness. So try those things out, see if you can remember what the signs and symptoms are, and see if your family can guess. Thanks for joining Guilds today, and I hope that you guys have fun playing charades. Have a good day. Bye.